All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Baseline Podcast. I'm joined with Eddie Montanez and Zach Sabonchak. So, on episode 7, and MLB just released the top 10 list for left field, third base, and first base. We're going to dive right in with the third base picks. Probably the worst list I have ever seen in my entire existence. So let's hear your opinions on why Nolan Arenado is ranked 5, first of all, because that is way too low.
Nolan Arenado at 5 is literally absolute anarchy. The man should literally be number 1. I don't see how they could put Jose Ramirez, Austin Riley, and Rafi Devers in front of him, and even Manny Machado in front of him. I could understand that Manny Machado and Jose Ramirez maybe had better years than Nolan Arenado in 2022, but Nolan Arenado is Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado is the best third baseman in all of baseball, and it's not a question, in my opinion. Yes, Manny Machado is number 2, but Nolan Arenado is a platinum glove winner. He is a absolute freak at third base. And I think the fact that Ke'Bryan Hayes ain't on this list is absolutely stupid. He has, in 2019 through now, he has led the league in runs saved defensively. He should be on this list over Yandy Diaz and Max Muncy, and it's not a question. So this list is absolutely stupid. Stupid.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Nolan Arenado, like you said, he's arguably the best third baseman in the league right now. Probably put him, like you were saying, number 1. Probably put Machado number 3, J-Ram number 2. I mean, I feel like those are your top 3. Max Muncy being in the top 10 is absolutely ridiculous. He did not have a good year last year. I don't understand how he's even on here, and number 8, not even number 10.
He'd even batted 250. Which is crazy, and he's number 8. He'd even batted 250. That's crazy.
Like I just don't. Even Justin Turner being on here, I really don't understand that either. I mean,
yeah, I don't know why he's at 7, man. I don't get that one.
I like the list in a way, but there's, like I said, Justin Turner, Muncy, Yandy Diaz. I don't see how you can even put them on this list. And like you said, Ke'Bryan Hayes coming in from 2019, led the league in runs saved. He's an animal, but he plays for Pittsburgh, so you're not really going to hear anything about him.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you guys. Putting Austin Riley, Devers, and Ramirez above Arenado is probably one of the worst takes that a person could ever have. I don't know what MLB Network is doing. I would put Arenado at 1, Machado at 2, and I don't even know, man. I'd probably put Riley maybe staying at 3. I don't know. That's a tie between Devers and Riley in a way. I think Devers is pretty good.
Yeah, do not get me wrong. Austin Riley had a disgusting second half of the year last year. An absolutely disgusting second half of the year last year. But Arenado has been arguably the best third baseman for the past 5+ years. Go back to Colorado and go back to now. His glove is insane. He makes the greatest plays I've ever seen from a third baseman, and it's not close.
Nolan Arenado. Sure about that? Machado and him are pretty close with the glove.
I don't know. Nolan Arenado is disgusting at third base, and I think that glove should be more accounted for. Yes, I understand a computer is the one that made this list, the shredder, whatever the hell that is, which is stupid. But Nolan Arenado at 5 is completely stupid. Stupid. And the fact that Matt Chapman and Ke'Bryan Hayes ain't on this list over Justin Turner, Max Muncy, and Yandy Diaz is absolutely anarchy. It's stupid. It's stupid.
I do like DJ LeMahieu on the list. I don't know why. I just have a good feeling that
coming from a Yankees fan, I like him. I like him on the list, but he's been struggling lately with injuries. So, I mean, I wouldn't be offended if they would have snuck, Ke'Bryan in there number 10 just to get him on the list, like we were saying. But I'm glad to see a Yankee on the list, though.
Yeah, you're not going to see Alec Boehm on this list, so I mean, it is what it is. But like you said, I am glad that LeMahieu is it. Yeah, I don't think so, not anymore. We'll hop over to the first base list. I mean, it's all right. It's not the greatest list I've ever seen. Eddie, let's hear your thoughts on it.
I don't think you could put Jose Abreu over Polar Pete and Matt Olson. Yeah, I understand that he won an MVP before and blah, 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 but Pete Alonso was a MVP candidate last year. He was top 3. And Matt Olson, going to Atlanta, his hometown, was a beast there. I don't think Jose Abreu was a top 5 first baseman in the MLB. I think you could argue that Ty France and Luis Arias are even better than him because of their bats. I could see that. Yeah, Jose Abreu going to the Astros, maybe even out this ranking, maybe because their lineup's going to be gross. But Pete Alonso, I think, is going to be the NL MVP this year, and I'm saying it now. So when Polar Pete wins MVP, we're going to run back to this, and we're going to see this.
Clip it.
Yeah, clip it. So when Pete Alonso, I don't think that Pete Alonso and Matt Olson deserve to be 5 and 6. Alonso should be number 4, and as a Mets fan, I'm definitely agreeing that Goldschmidt, Freeman, and Guerrero are all better than Alonso. But Alonso should definitely be 4 on this list. Alonso is a top 5 first baseman in the MLB, and it's not a question in my opinion.
Yeah, like you said, top 3. I don't think I'd change anything about that. I mean, Freddie Freeman, number 2. I mean, obviously Paul Goldschmidt, absolute animal this past season. Obviously, he deserves number 1 more than anybody. Vladdy, number 3, I like that one. Yeah, and like you were saying about Jose being number 4, I'd probably put him 6. I'd probably move, obviously, Pete up to 4. Probably put Ty France above Matt Olson just for the sheer fact that he came out and really tore it up this year as well. Didn't really see that coming. Matt Olson also had a really good season. I just think Ty France kind of had a lot more to prove. The rest of the list, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Luis Arias, I could see him being on the list. He had a really good season this year. Rhys Hoskins, he had a good bat this year. Yeah, I mean, I think that's about it that I could change with that.
Anthony Rizzo also not being on the list is crazy. I also seen him being on the list over Rhys Hoskins. I don't think Rhys Hoskins was good in the field or in the bat, really. The playoffs, he hit solo home runs that were useless, honestly. But except the one against the Braves, pretty cool. But
yeah,
Luis Arias at 9-2 is crazy. I think he batted like a 320 something, and he won I understand that he's going to second base this year because he's on the Marlins, but he batted over at 320 something in 2022. He shouldn't be number 9 on this list. So
yeah, he was neck and neck with Judge at the end of the season, wasn't he?
Yeah, Judge needed to go 3 for 4 or 4 for 4 in his last game to even beat Arias. Yeah. So I don't even think he should be 9. I think he should be top 7, top 8, even though he's moving to second base this year.
Honestly, I would switch up the top 3. I would put Freddie Freeman at 1. I think Paul Goldschmidt is a good defensive, and he's good at obviously hitting, but I don't know. Freddie Freeman is like a solid guy that you want on your roster all the time. I've never heard anything real bad. Like, hey, Freddie Freeman's having a really horrible season. You know, with Goldie,
big Freddie Freeman fan.
Yeah, I like. He's a good guy. I mean, I would put him at number 1, Goldschmidt 2, and then Guerrero at 3. Goldschmidt, yeah. With Abreu though, yeah, you guys are right. With him going to the Astros, I mean, I think that just adds, I don't know, more hype around him. Maybe that's why they put him at 4. But I do think Pete is better than he is at the position. So I put Pete at 4, and then Abreu maybe at 6, maybe even 7. I'll be honest with you. And Eddie, I'd have to agree with you. So I don't think Rhys should be on this list because his bat was streaky throughout the entire season. His glove was very questionable. I don't know, though. I mean, his solo home runs made it past the first round of the playoffs. So
they didn't get in the World Series, though, so it don't matter.
Yeah, but we were there. It's okay. It's okay. We'll see how we do this season. It's going to be a good season. We'll hop over to the left fielders. I think this list is actually kind of okay. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, I like this list.
Svani, what do you think about it? Let's hear your thoughts.
I mean, Jordan number one. I can't really argue with that. He's an animal. He's fun to watch. Even playing for Houston. Obviously, I can't stand Houston, but I mean, he's a fun guy to watch. He crushes the ball. He's good. He's a good time. Juan Soto number two. I like it in a way. I think when he went to the Padres this year, I think it kind of hurt. I don't think he should be that high just based off that. Schwarber number three. That's big too. I mean, everyone on the list I think deserves to be on here, and maybe just the order might be a little bit different. Taylor Ward, I think, should be 3 instead of 4. I mean, he played real well this year. Rosarena, number 5. Stephen Kwan for number 6. I liked him. He had a really good season coming up through. Thought he was going to win Rookie of the Year, beginning of the year. But, you know, I mean, everything else on the list, I mean, I could agree with. Nothing really more I'd change.
What do you think, Ed?
I definitely like this list. I definitely do think Stephen Kwan should be top 5, as everyone knows that's been watching this podcast. I'm a big guy of someone that gets on base. Stephen Kwan, it was a rookie, and he swung the bat over 60 times and made contact every single time as a rookie. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. In your rookie year, you swing the bat 60 times and you didn't whiff on one pitch. You made contact with everyone. That's crazy. But he also had a very good year. He was the the Guardians leadoff hitter, and he also had a very good year. He had a very decent postseason against the Yankees, and I believe they also played who they play in the first round. I think. No, not the. It was the Blue. Who else?
No, it couldn't have been Seattle.
Who made it? They beat Oscar Gonzalez hit a walk-off grand slam. Not a walk-off grand slam, a walk-off solo home run in like the 15th inning against them. I completely forget, but I definitely think Stephen Kwan should be top 5 because he gets on base a lot. He's a very good leadoff hitter. Like I said, he swung the bat 60 times in the MLB as a rookie. He didn't miss the ball. So, like, I definitely think in the next coming years, he's definitely going to be top 5, top 3 on this list. I definitely agree with the top 3. Jordan 1, Soto 2. That's definitely interchangeable in my opinion. But Jordan had a hell of a season this year. He had a really good postseason. He's one of the only lefties that I've seen, really, that could tee off against a lefty as well. Like, you would think them bringing in Alvarado would have helped him because he's a lefty. But no. Like, the guy teed off against lefties all season long. So, like, I think that's a very good number 1 since he can hit righties and lefties. And Soto number 2, yeah, he had a down year since when he was at the Nationals. But who knows what he could do this year? He could win MVP, obviously, like Cam said the last podcast as well. So I definitely think 1 and 2 are interchangeable. Schwarber 3. I could agree with that, even though he didn't have the best average. He hit a lot of home runs, and he has one of the best eyes in baseball. He definitely got called on some of his strikeouts looking like Angel Hernandez called him on.
Yeah.
That's enough said of Angel Hernandez, but
yeah, so like I definitely agree with this list. It's not a horrible list. I don't see Michael Brantley being on this list. I could probably name some left fielders that I think could be on this list that are better than him if I really think about it. But this list, I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I could agree with some of the people on it. And Tyler O'Neill should be up there too. I think he's going to be a beast this year.
yeah.
See, I like Alvarez at 1. Soto at 2. I don't know. I want to put him at 1, but I mean he has to have a really good season this year. And I hate Soto, but I do think he's a generational talent. But like, it sucks that he's good. For sure, we're at 3. I think that's a good place for him. I mean, like you said, he had a ton of quality at bats this year, and with those came a lot of dingers. So put him at 3 is a fair assessment. Ian Happ at 9. I think he should be over Brantley. Personally, I mean, you said Brantley's not even supposed to be on this list. You could think of a couple other guys. So, I mean, I think he should be in at 9 or 10, not necessarily 8. But I mean, it could be whatever. I do like this list, but it's not my favorite. It's a lot better than the other two.
I just thought of one that could be over Brantley. Austin Hayes from the Baltimore Orioles. He had a very good year. He had a very good year last year. He's one of the young upcoming players on that team. Like I said in most of the podcasts that we had, I think the Orioles are going to be one hell of a team this year, and I think that their young core is going to be awesome. And Austin Hayes had a very good like month, 2 months showing, like just he could really do, and that 1 to 2 months was really, really good. And I think he should be on this list. I think next year he'll make a case for top 10, but I think this year he should have been on it too.
So you mentioned the Orioles. We'll move right into our next topic of sleeper teams going into the 2023 season. I'm guessing your pick's the Orioles, but I think they'll be all right. I don't think they're going to be even remotely close to the rest of their division, but they might make the playoffs in a wild card spot.
I don't think they'll be remotely. Because they're in the same division as Blue Jays, Yankees. Like they're in a really, really tough division. But I don't see them making it as the 1 through 6 seed. I could see them making it as the 7, 8 seed and sneaking into the playoffs. But like I said before, that team showed what they could do last year. They're not a high-paid team. They're not all that. But when they have – I think that chemistry is also very, very important, not only in baseball but in all sports. When you have a chemistry that's very good, you're going to play good. Your team's going to play good. They're going to want it. The Orioles – show that they wanted it last year. They didn't really move anyone. They didn't really sign anyone back. They didn't really move. Like they didn't really trade anyone. They didn't really. No one in free agency really left. They have their whole team back, and they made pretty good moves this offseason, like signing Kyle Gibson, I believe. Like he's a pretty decent pitcher that could help their starting bullpen. Like I don't think that the Orioles are going to be one of the top teams in the American League. Absolutely not. But I think they're a team that show what they could do and make the 7 or 8 seed. I'm not saying they're going to make the AL. They're not making it past. I don't think they're going to make it past a dominant, good team. But if they could go out there and show with Gunnar Henderson, who played not much last year but played good for what he showed, and Adley Rutschman, who's going to be in his second year, who's going to play really good in my opinion. And if they could get John Means back in their bullpen all together, I think they could be really good. And I think the Rangers could be good as well. They were my second sleeper team. As a Mets fan, it sucks, but they just got the Grom. They just got the Grom from us, and they signed really good pitchers that could have his back, like Evaldi. They had Heine, Gray, and their lineup honestly wasn't that bad. I don't think Adolis Garcia and Jonah were bad to back up Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. Like I think that these two teams could really make a shot towards the 7th or 8th seed in the American League. I don't see. I could see them not making it, obviously, but like I said, like these two teams are really young. They could have a good chemistry. They could put it together, and they could show people what they could do and sneak into the playoffs.
I like the Rangers as your pick too. I think that's a solid one.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Orioles as well. I think they're definitely a team to watch this year. They have a young team coming up through. A lot of their guys from the farm system coming up. Like obviously they brought Adley up last year. He tore it up in his first season with them. They've got Gunnar Henderson, came up for a little bit last year. I like him too. He got a lot going for him. I believe they're going to try to bring up Grayson Rodriguez at some point this year, if not to start the season. So, I mean, those are 3 real young guys that they have, probably 3 of the better prospects that come out. I mean, yeah, like you guys were saying, it's a tough division to play in. They have a lot of good teams like the Yankees and stuff, but I think they'll make a name for it this year. I think they'll do all right. My other sleeper team, you hear me talk about them all the time. I think the Cubs are going to come up this year. Like I said before, it all depends on how this team that they put together in free agency is going to work out together. I mean, you got a number of pretty good players from different teams that have kind of been struggling a little bit. Maybe they all come to Chicago and start doing well, start hitting well. Like Cody Bellinger's coming off of a bad couple of years. Maybe this is where he comes back, gets his confidence back, and tears it up this year. But yeah, I mean, I think the Cubs and the Orioles both have something going for him this year.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the Cubs. I mean, they made a lot of good moves, especially if Bellinger could pay off. For my pick, I'm going with a team in the NL Beast. The Miami Marlins are going to be good this year. And to be honest with you, it surprises me that they're actually making moves to acquire good players because their management is not top notch and they're not going to spend big money. But they acquired Gene Segura. They have Jazz. So, I mean, how good could they possibly get if they can improve their pitching, improve their lineup a little bit more, and maybe in the next 2 years, maybe even might get postseason run. I don't know, but that's my sleeper team for this year. I think they're going to be good.
I'm surprised the Marlins got rid of Pablo Lopez.
Yeah, I was surprised about that too.
That's a big. I wouldn't say that's going to kill them this year, but I mean that's a big piece of their puzzle there that they're losing. Obviously, bringing in Arias probably helped, but I mean losing a pitcher for a position player doesn't usually work out, or it doesn't always work out very well.
I honestly love both of your guys' teams that you picked. Like I agree with Cam a lot. I think that them signing the AL batting champ from last year is really going to help them. Even though they lost Pablo Lopez, I think that the reason they did this is because they have a really good pitcher named Yuri Perez who could come up and be dominant in the MLB. So, and they also have Edward Cabrera, who pitched a little bit last year and wasn't the best, but he showed flashes of what he could do. And who knows what they could do this year? Like Sandy Alcantara just came off an NL Cy Young, best pitcher in the NL, in my opinion. If I think that if they could build Yuri Perez until what they want, then them moving Pablo Sanchez to the Twins and them signing Arias is a very, very good trade. Because when you have Alcantara, who's throwing 103 max, he's pumping 100. You have Edward Cabrera, who's also pumping 100 and who has gross off speed, such as Alcantara. And Yuri Perez, who's also doing the same as them two, who could be a number 3 on that team. And you also have Jazz Chisholm, who's very, very good. And you have a young team around them as well. You have Jorge Soler, who has a very good power bat. And I think that they could, like Cam said, be very like they could show people what they could do and surprise a lot of people. And like what Zamonchik said, I like the Cubs too. I think that Dansby Swanson and Nico Horner could be one of the best middle infields in the whole league. And who knows if Cody Bellinger could show what happened when he won, what he could do when he won MVP in Chicago, then I think they could be very good. They have Christopher Morale at third and Patrick Wisdom to flip flop. They have Dansby Swanson obviously at short. They have Nico Horner at second. I believe they just got Hosmer too at first base, I believe. And they have Suzuki, Ian Happ, and Cody Bellinger in the outfield. That's not a terrible lineup at all, I'd say. Them losing Charis is hard on them, yes. But if they could bring in good pitching that could help Stroman, which is a number 1 for them, which is I think is their downfall. I don't think Stroman's could be a number 1 in the MLB. But like Zamonchik said, if their lineup could bring it together, I think they could be a sleeper team.
What if, now this is a hypothetical, what if they got rid of one of their top arms, right, for Trevor Bauer?
The Cubs?
No, the Marlins.
Marlins.
Yeah,
he already got rid of Pablo Lopez. I don't know if you could afford to lose anybody else. I mean, they're obviously going to ask the farm for Alcantara after his past season this year. So I don't think Alcantara's going anywhere anytime soon. No. I mean, there's not really anybody left that I think they could get rid of to bring in Trevor Bauer.
Oh, they could just sign him. I don't think they have to trade for him, do they? Because he's released. He can sign for a minimum contract. I think. I'm not sure. Well, I'm not 100% sure. But, I'm just saying, hypothetically, if they wanted to spend that money, they would make their team a very good, maybe even a 2 in the NL East, to be honest with you, because the Marlins always have the Phillies number for some reason. And with the Mets probably holding that number 1 spot and Atlanta, I mean, that's a crazy division. That's a crazy division.
That's another tough division, honestly.
Another team I could see making it to the playoffs and also making it pretty far is the Los Angeles Angels. Yeah, they have Ohtani and Mike Trout, but like Mike Trout is, in my opinion, the greatest baseball player I have ever seen step foot on a diamond. And Shohei Ohtani is Shohei Ohtani. He could throw a 2 point whatever ERA and bat 290 plus and hit 40 plus home runs. In the last podcast, I said whoever they throw in left field, blah, blah, blah. I didn't realize that their outfield is going to be Hunter Renfroe, Mike Trout, and Taylor Ward. That is a very good outfield. Hunter Renfroe is a very good power bat. Taylor Ward is very good. And Mike Trout is the greatest baseball player in my eyes. And if they could bring back a healthy Anthony Rendon and a good Jared Walsh, and they could have good pitching, I think that they could make a case for one of the best teams in the AL and maybe even a 1-4 spot, honestly.
I think what kills the Angels every year is losing people to injuries, like you said, Rodon and Trout. I mean, everyone argues about Trout, saying he's not the best, yada yada yada, just because he hasn't played a full season. But you see when he's healthy what he can do, and when he's healthy, he really is probably the best player on the planet or of this generation.
The Angels is an interesting one. I mean,
they
were plagued with a lot of head coaching, in the past year. That's kind of what brought them down. I think getting rid of I can't even think of his name, but getting rid of that guy, enter name here, towards the end of the season, mid-season, I think that really helped them out. And I think whoever they sign, if they didn't sign one yet, I didn't catch if they signed anybody. I think that'll help too, getting a new head coach and a new system going in. We'll see what happens. Speaking of Ohtani, though, he's a free agent next year.
Going back to the Marlins quick, I also forgot that they just got Johnny Cueto too. So with that Pablo Lopez trade, I think that they're shipping him off. So maybe Cueto can have a good year like he did last year, and then Yuri Perez could be the 4. I completely forgot about them signing Johnny Cueto. So, yeah, I think that Cueto's going to be the 2, and then Cabrera's going to be the 3, and hopefully for them, they'll have Yuri Perez as the 4, and whoever their 5 is, I don't know, honestly, who their 5 is, but maybe if their 5 could be good and their lineup could show up, I think that the Marlins could be good, like Ham said. Sorry to cut you off, though.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, I forgot about that one, too. Just an interesting – it's going to be an interesting year. But, yeah, as I was saying, so we were talking about the Angels for a little bit here. So Ohtani's a free agent next year. Where is the best place that he could end up? I mean, not for him as a player, both for money, for his family back in Japan. What is the best scenario for him, and what do you think he's going to end up getting paid, and how long too? Let's hear your thoughts.
I think he's going to end up getting paid over $500 million. I think he's not only going to be the highest paid baseball player ever. I think he's going to be the highest paid athlete ever. He is the only player that I've ever seen that could go out there and be a dominant pitcher and absolutely terrify the opposing pitcher. He is going to get over $500 million, and I am confident in that. And I seen that the 8 teams I read an article that the 8 teams that he's projected to go to are the Angels, Dodgers, Padres, Mets, Yankees, Giants, Red Sox, and Cubs. I can't see him going to the Cubs. I could definitely see him staying with the Angels, though, because I think that him and Trout's relationship is very strong. And like I keep saying, but team chemistry is also if you I'm gonna go to football quick. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. they're not splitting up ever. They're Bengals for life. It don't matter how much they're getting paid. They'll take cuts to play with each other. You know what I mean? I think that the bond that Trout and Ohtani have, if Trout's going to be an angel for life, Ohtani could be an angel for life. But it all depends on what they could do this year. It all depends on if they can make the playoffs or even not make the playoffs but have a positive record. I could see him definitely going to the Dodgers. They have the money in the world. They have all the money in the world you could ask for. They don't have a dominant team like they did in the past few years. Their reasoning for not signing so many people this offseason is to get Shohei Ohtani. They want Shohei Ohtani to back up Freddie Freeman and Betts. If they can have them three, that's arguably the best trio in baseball right there. Mookie Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani. So I think that the Dodgers are very good. The Mets, obviously, Steve Cohen. I'm not going to just say this because I'm a Mets fan. Steve Cohen. He has all the money in the world. He almost had Correa for $310 million, and I'm almost positive that if he even got Correa, he'd still go after Ohtani and Machado.
Probably.
The Yankees, I could definitely see him going too. I don't think they have many people that they're paying so much. I don't know. You could correct me if I'm wrong. Well, I think that that Judge is literally the highest paid person in the MLB right now. Who's really that's all they're really paying so much for, because they got Benintendi's gone. They have Giancarlo Stanton, who's honestly really cheap for being a good DH and a decent outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
They have Oswaldo Cabrera, who's on a rookie deal, so that's nothing for them. So I think that if that all their money that they saved, they could get him also, which would be scary because if they have Rodon, Cole, Nestor, and Ohtani, that's just absolutely gross as a 1 through 4.
That would be disgusting.
And you could have Ohtani as DH. That's just disgusting. The Giants, we know how the Giants are. They almost signed Correa. They almost signed Judge. He ain't going to the Giants. We all know this. Red Sox, I don't see him going to the Red Sox. I think Ohtani wants to be on a team that could succeed, even though it's not all about money. I think it's also about wanting to get a ring. I don't think him going to the Red Sox is going to allow him to get a ring because they don't really have another player besides Devers, obviously, because Rafael Devers is the top 6 to 7 third baseman in the MLB. But I don't think that he would go there knowing the fact that he's not going to win anything there. He's not going to go to the playoffs every year. The Cubs, that is a very surprising one that I read. Like Zavonchik said, their lineup is really good, and they're not really good. And like I said, if they could get an ace to help Stroman, that's so good. So if you could have Ohtani as your ace, just pitches once every 5 days, and you could even have your pitcher DH as well. So it don't matter. So you could have Ohtani as your ace, and then Stroman as your number 2, and then blah, blah, blah. And then that really good lineup to back you up, I think that could be good for all 8 teams. The only team that I really can't see him going to is the San Francisco Giants.
It's a lot of interesting takes, man. I could see him going to the Cubs. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I do think he's going to want to stay on the West Coast, though. I don't think he'll come over to the East Coast for the Mets or the Yankees or the Red Sox.
I mean, obviously, I'd like to see him come to the Yankees. I feel like it would be a lot of moving players around, package deals. I mean, I think the Yankees would have to get rid of some guys to be able to afford him and make room for him. But in my opinion, I think he's like Cam said, like I said before, I think he's probably going to stay on the West Coast, probably stay in California. I think he'll stay on the Angels because I mean they don't have a lot of people they're paying a ton of money. I mean they could probably afford to give him whatever number he wanted. Or I could see the Dodgers or the Padres picking him up too. I mean, obviously, like Eddie said, the Dodgers are going to spend whatever they want to spend on him to get him. I mean, I think just about any team will spend whatever they want on him because he's probably going to be, like we said, highest paid player. I think he'll get a long-term deal for $500+ million. But Yeah, I mean, I think he's staying in the West Coast. I think he's staying in California somewhere.
I would be shocked if he stays with the Angels. I don't know. Like, it seems like they're hell bent on wasting Mike Trout and Ohtani's career because they can't make the playoffs. You know, they're not that great of a team. And I know they have pieces and all this stuff, but like they're not there. They don't compete with the Mariners. Like the Mariners are not that much greater of a team than they are. But it just seems like night and day when they play the Yankees or something like that. You know, it's like they have two great players that either can't Mike Trout can't stay healthy, and then Ohtani, who's just an absolute animal and basically carries the entire team all the time, you know? So I don't think he's going to stay with the Angels. I do think he's going to want to see the postseason at some point. But
I mean, I definitely would like to see Trout and Ohtani get out of there, but it all depends on what's. But I mean, obviously, he's going to be there for the rest of his career. But I mean, obviously, I'd like to see both of them get out somewhere and get a ring somewhere. They both deserve it.
I completely agree. I mean, if Trout could opt out of that deal, I mean, that would be. I don't know if there is an opt-out clause for him, to be honest with you, but
I'm not sure.
If they don't make the playoffs within the next, let's say, 2 years, they're going to have some problems, I think, because that's just a waste.
Yeah.
That's such a sad waste of talent. But, yeah, I don't know. Padres, Dodgers, hopefully not the Padres, because that would just be a loaded rotation.
It'd be insane.
I don't think Kershaw's staying around too much longer, so honestly,
I think Kershaw maybe got a year or two left in him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the Dodgers are a very good spot that he could end up landing. You know, he's going to get paid a ton of money, stay on the West Coast, and be on a playoff team. I think that's his best case scenario. Probably a long-term contract, too, for at least maybe 13 years. But that's a lot for a pitcher, but he's not just a pitcher. It's a weird contract. I think that's
he can play right field, too. He can literally play the outfield. Yeah. He played the outfield sometimes as well.
Yeah.
I think that's what I said. I think that's what I said it was a couple episodes ago or whatever when I said the problem with signing someone like Ohtani, in my opinion, would be say he's pitching, you sign him to a 10-year deal, say he pitches for 3-4 years and gets hurt, like blows his arm out or something. You can at least still keep him on that contract and use him for an outfielder, still power bat, hopefully. I think someone picks him up long-term deal. I think they're going to do something along that lines where they have him pitch for X amount of years and then use him as DH outfielder kind of ordeal. I think that'd probably be the smartest play if someone's going to sign him long-term.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's just a strange contract. Obviously nobody has ever seen a multi-leveled player, and they're not going to have besides DH and first baseman. I mean, that's a different thing, though. I mean, you're not having a guy pitch and then to go play outfield and DH. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
how often are you ever going to see
concerning?
And a guy that's running from first to third in 11 seconds. Like his speed's phenomenal too.
Yeah, how often are you going to have your starting pitcher DH for you?
And hit a triple in 11 seconds.
Yeah,
triple in 11 seconds.
That's insane. But how do we feel about Chris Holm going to center? I mean, we didn't really talk about that too much. I mean, let's hear some thoughts about that. Why?
I saw that he said he's planning on winning a Gold Glove his first year, but
I saw it too.
I could see like he has a lot of speed. I could see why he's in center field. Like Trey Turner played center field sometimes. He just has really good speed. He has a very good glove at second base. Obviously, the infield and outfield are way different, but who knows what he could do in center field. I think that this move is very weird in my opinion. I honestly don't know who the first baseman for the Marlins is, but moving Arias to second and Jazz in center is going to be really cool to see and weird because we don't know what Jazz can do in center yet. We don't know if he's going to go out there and be the Gold Glove he's planning on being, or if he's going to be like Tatis when he moved to the outfield, not good. So him moving to center is going to be a weird thing to see because, like what we thought before, not what we thought, but what everyone thought before. Oh, Tatis is a beast at shortstop. He's going to kill it in right field. What Tatis do in right field? Shit the bed. So we don't know what Jazz Chisholm could do in center field yet. We'll see. We'll see some of it in spring training, most of it in the regular season, obviously. So what I feel about that, it's 50-50. I like the move because obviously they signed Arias, who's an infielder all around, who can play any position in the infield. So I think that's very smart of them, but I think it's going to be really weird to see.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see him doing well in center field. I think it's going to take a lot of adjusting, getting used to that position, as he was used to being second baseman for how long. But like you said, he's a very fast player. He's a very athletic, young guy. I think this early on in his career, I think he can make an adjustment to center field and succeed with it. Like I said, I think it's just take some getting used to.
I think that's a killer combo if they would have kept him at second, though, with Siggy at shortstop. I mean, that's a good infield. That's why it is weird. I agree with you. I mean, it's like taking a Gold Glove, removing him, and then putting him somewhere else. Like the same thing that they did with Tatis, like Eddie was saying. We'll see what happens, but I don't think we have any more topics for today. We got pitchers and catchers reporting in, only 3 weeks. What?
Yeah,
February 13th, I think it starts.
When spring training gets back up, I'll have it right here on the TV. So if anything happens, I'll be able to say it on.
Yeah,
so,
live coverage.
Yeah, I think that this year's going to be very good. Like we got the World Baseball Classic coming up. I think that's going to be a hell of a thing to watch. Dominican team, Puerto Rican team, U.S. team, all stacked. I think that this year's a very good year of baseball, in my opinion. Probably going to be the most fun to watch. Like all of our teams are very good. Phillies just got Trey Turner for Cam. The Mets just got Verlander, Seiya Suzuki, and Simon Nimmo for long term. And the Yankees got Aaron Judge for how many years and Rodon. So I think this year for all of us is going to be very fun to watch, and this year baseball is going to be very competitive, and this podcast should be very debateful.
It should be heated, to be honest with you. I mean, especially in Phillies Mets series.
Especially me and you in the NL East.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. But so that wraps up this episode of The Baseline. Stay tuned for The Fade and Philadelphia Sports Radio. We have an NBA podcast coming out next week. All right. Follow our Instagram.